Hello, hello, hello. Alan here. Welcome to my channel. And I've got these notes to talk about James Baldwin. And I just got done reading Giovanni's Room with my Baldwin reading partner, Patrice Jones. And her channel is 2 Minutes on Books, link below. It's great to buddy read with Patrice because she's really thorough. And we check in with each other every few days or so. It's a relatively, thin book, less than 300 pages, less than 200 pages. It's only 169 pages. Uh, there's a, it's for Lucien, one of James Baldwin's friends and lovers, and a quote from Whitman: "I am the man, I suffered, I was there." Whitman, great American poet. So we've read several Baldwin books. I don't have all of the Baldwin books that I've read, but here's Go Tell It on the Mountain. Here's one of his collections of essays, Notes on a Native Son. The title comes from Richard Wright's novel, Native Son, great novel. And then we read his this biography by David Lemming, a friend of Baldwin, and it's a really good biography. But let's get back to Giovanni's Room, a book I thought I wouldn't really like all that much. It's and Patrice was pleasantly surprised by it as well. And I went into this book not knowing too much about it. In fact, I thought it was a bigger book. I was kind of apprehensive. Don't know why exactly. I knew it was about two gay guys in France. Not my wheelhouse, but I do like Baldwin. It's about white guys, too. And I did a little research, and Baldwin's only written with white men as his main character a couple of times, and another time was in a short story which I have not read yet. So much to say and think about this little novel about two gay guys in France on the surface. And at the time it was written, copywritten in 1954, homosexuality was not illegal in France, 1956, and takes place in the 50s. But you know what else was not illegal in France? Execution by guillotine. Now that was public execution by guillotine in France was outlawed in like the 1930s, the public square, but it was still legal up until the 70s. That was their method of execution. So I say all that to say this. We know from the first chapter that Giovanni is going to die, and he's going to die by guillotine. So that's hanging over the whole novel. It's a relatively tense, violent, negative novel. I don't like any of the characters in here, which is not to say I don't like the book, but it's interesting. I can't think of another book where I just didn't like the characters at all. Not one really redeeming quality in any of them. Let me talk about the characters a bit. We've got David, the main character, is an expatriate from America, living in France. He, young, I think he's 28, but he's around that age. He's questioning his sexuality. Giovanni was not his first male lover. He had an experience with a person named Joey, who he basically used and just took advantage of, just like David is doing with Giovanni. And another older character in the novel named Jacques is like on the hunt for young men, and it's been a day since I finished this, and I'm still thinking about it. Um, I'm wondering if Jacques was a metaphor for David, like how foreshadowing how David might end up. Because David does have a fiancee, a female named, uh, what's her name? Hella? Like Helen, but Hella. And she's in Spain. And they met in America and that, but they're still corresponding. David's father in America, um, David keeps writing him asking for money, and his father's going to send it, but doesn't. I say that because in other Baldwin novels, the main character, protagonist, does not have a good relationship with the father figure, because Baldwin had a complicated relationship with his own father. I think alcoholism plays a major factor in the novel. They're constantly drinking cognac, um, which is what you do in France as a young person, I've heard. Another character in here is named Guion, and he's the bar owner. The bar plays a significant part in Giovanni's room, as does Giovanni's room. They spend like 2 years in this room. It's not in Paris, France. It's on the outskirts, but most of the action takes place in Paris. But this room of Giovanni's, where they spend so much time, is detailed as dirty, messy. Uh, there's a scene in here where Giovanni throws a glass at the wall, breaks it all over the bed, that type of thing. A lot of behavior in here that I would have put up with. There's no way. And I kept telling myself, these are 28-year-old guys that are footloose, fancy free. They have no responsibilities. They have no cares in the world, really. But they just can't seem to get along. Giovanni he's a relatively few redeeming characteristics. He's self-pitying. He's jealous. He's violent. He's one of those types who says, "If you leave me, I'll die. How will I live without you?" I can't stand that. I mean, I could talk about beyond red flags, right? Well, David is not much better. He's a liar. He's lying to everybody. He lies to himself, most of all. The plot thickens when Hella comes back from Spain to France and meets up with David. And David is he in love with her? Quite possibly. I feel as if he is, but he just can't make that leap of honesty. He doesn't tell her about his feelings or what happened with Giovanni. I take that back. He does tell her kind of finally. She kind of doesn't half believe him. But Giovanni and the bar owner, Guion, are jealous people. They have no respect for others, let alone themselves. David continually says he's not married. Giovanni knows about this, Helena in Spain. And David's going, "Well, we're not married. I do what I want." Which is true. I look back on my young life. With a little, we all do. It's nothing new. That's how I related to the novel. You can see how I'm still thinking about it. I don't script these out, obviously. So yes, we know how it's going to end. Like Hemingway said, every story told long enough ends in death. But we don't know why until the end. A lot of foreshadowing about what's going to happen. I won't get into the end. I don't want to spoil it too bad. But it really, it's not cathartic because I didn't feel complete. I felt like, even though I didn't like Giovanni, I didn't think he got what he deserved. The truth didn't come out. We're left basically where we started. David's alone. Don't know what he's going to do. Is he going to go back to America? Is he going to stay in France? I don't know. You have to read the book. But I think I'll leave it at that. Glad I read it. I liked it more than I thought I would. Enjoyed the buddy reading experience. If you guys like Baldwin, it's Black History Month. I recommend him. I'm going to read. There's quite a few novels I have not read yet. So I have several to pick and choose from. If you have any recommendations, let me know. Like, for example, I've never read Nobody Knows My Name. I have read Another Country. I've never read Blues for Mr. Charlie. I've never met Going to Meet the Man. I've never read Jimmy's Blues, etc. So if you like any of those novels or collections of essays, or as I mentioned, I've never read short stories. Is it Blues for Mr. Charlie? I think it is short stories. I don't know. So I'll leave it at that. Like, subscribe, make a comment. If you do, I'll reply back to you. And have a great week. Talk to you later.